Very good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Once again, we are happy to be in this shared reality with you.
I'm thrilled. I'm really happy.
And before we will let you read us your questions, we will do a little recap with you from our previous times. With your permission, we will ask you, what do you remember most to be most emotionally helpful for you from the next time?
What I noticed was when I acknowledged some of my core beliefs, and when we brought up those core beliefs that I guess are not serving me right now. I felt a little bit of letting go some resistance, a little bit of a crack of resistance, and as we spoke and as the conversation went on, I felt, emotionally speaking, a little bit of exhilaration and a little bit of my anxiety to fade away. There was still anxiety, but I felt my body
Release.
felt differently. Yes, a little bit of release.
And we will ask you, are you clear on the topic we were talking about? Are you understanding what was going on?
I am clear of what is going on in terms of my belief systems and why I have them, and what it's not as clear to me is, how can what will be like the best advice, the do's and the don'ts for someone like myself or other people that still feel that, they should be more spiritual, or their life should be a little bit, less, not less, but you know what I'm saying? I still have that belief, and I'm not sure if I should unwire that belief totally, or if I should just, start using some tools and take, steps to balance it out, my, human life with my spiritual connection, or
the very thing that you are dividing these two, your human life and your, we will finish that for you, the spiritual life, you are dividing these two for some reason, is the thing what is causing the conflict of the beliefs.
Okay.
You are being in a dense reality. You have decided, let's say many levels, to come here in this form. If you wanted to have only spiritual life, what we are getting from your definitions, you wouldn't use this way how to express yourself. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The main thing what we want to say is it's a game of definitions.
Yeah.
What do you define to be spiritual life?
Is that a question?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm aware that this life is spiritual, are spiritual beings, but what I meant was in regards to my connections to higher self, and strengthen that connection and be more aligned with my higher self, trying to close the gap. And
we would again ask you to be direct with us and honest, because we don't feel that this what is something what is going on right now.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you this. We have covered with you the topic of your connection with your higher self, and we feel that you have understood and felt what we were saying. Another thing is that you are trying to escape to what you are facing, we would say.
Okay.
You know all these true statements, which is one of those you just said to us, is that you are having the spiritual life, right? You know this is how it works. You know it on logical level. You don't really know it here
Yeah.
You don't really feel it like you are allowing yourself to experience the spiritual life. That's we want to get into the core of what you call the spiritual life within this dense reality. What is the definition? What do you imagine it to be if you would imagine yourself to be living the more spiritual life within this body?
It's just like feel everyday life with more ease, more joy, waking up full of energy, smiling, things flowing more naturally, have more compassion, empathy around people.
We thank you for your honest answer. We do feel it is honest, but we do want you to point out that most of those things you named out were on your behalf, on your part, on part of you as a player. But one thing, things flowing more easily. One thing which is way bigger than the other ones. But this one is not on your part. This is what you do not feel you have a control over.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Waking up and feeling this way or that way and having connections with people in this way and that way, you are able to do it, and you do remember yourself having these experiences, maybe not all the time, but you know you are capable of doing it anyway, right?
Yeah.
But having things flowing easily, that's the subject. You from your point of view, and we understand it because many people, it's generally the theme what you are a species going through. You don't feel you have the power of influencing your environment for it to manifest in a way that you would feel that everything is flowing naturally and smoothly for you. And we are not here to say that you do have the power, because the statement would have been explained and it would just take too much right now. We would tell you this: focus on what you do know you have the power over.
Okay.
We will use this example very graciously within your stay a couple of days here with our vehicle. We believe you are able to imagine, or from your memory, pull out from your memory that things are flowing easily. Would it be right?
Yes.
You are able to see that in some stages of your life, and we are not including only this experience, but let's say when you are back home and doing your stuff, things are sometimes flowing very easily and naturally. Is it right?
Yes.
So do not want it to be all the time.
Okay.
That's the magic. That's why you go to see magicians and movies. That's why you are looking for amusement. We would say amusement. But you don't want it to be all the time. That it wouldn't be amusing. Understand?
Yeah.
That's why we will use the example of our vehicle. Music, a song, takes up to 4 minutes. And then it's silent again for a new music, new song to come into the player. Do you understand?
That felt really good. I got that in a big haha. That was good.
It would be very... I know you and many of you are listening to us. You will not really believe it, but it would be very boring if things were flowing towards you more easily and effortlessly 24/7.
Yeah.
It would spoil the reason why you came into these realities, into these bodies. Do you understand? Let's say on a more... Well, we'll use this term gently, more different dimensions. In a different dimensions, things, let's say, manifest just like this, with the sound of the flipping fingers. But that's not why beings are experiencing the dimensions, because they are going for something else. You see, if you do want to feel the emotion of pleasure and joy, you very often are aiming to come here. If you would feel it 24/7, do you understand?
I understand. I feel now much better, and once again, like a weight was lifted off my shoulders.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
We will remind you the exercise. Do you remember? Put your dominant hand on your solar plexus and remind your body that this is what you want to be remembering. This is what you want to be stored, what you want to keep stored, and what you want to be nurtured in your emotional bodies, because, as we said, it has the great potential in you to do great things. Understand? We will say, just briefly to cover this topic. So now, when we explained the differentiation between what you have your power over and what is happening on the other side, do you, or let's say, you'll say, are you able to see events in your life which would be manifesting in a more ease and more flow? Or would you say there were none in the last 6 months of your life?
No, I would say I see. Yeah.
We'll tell you this. We thank you for the honest answer, and we'll tell you this. A focused eye sees always more than the eye which is just flowing around. What we mean by this is, if you would decide to focus your mind on these events, be more realizing during the day when things are flowing more easily and effortlessly, when you do feel without any of your doings more joy, you will be able to see, and then, well, use this gently again, attract more of those moments again, because you will build up the momentum. You understand? We do not see you as a person who wouldn't be surrounded by such a nice flowing energy, because you are. Things are flowing from our perspective. Things are flowing towards you easily and effortlessly, but it is the question of you seeing it.
Okay.
You see. This is mostly how it goes. Once one settles in you call it habits, habitual thinking, habitual job, habitual rituals, it gets easier to lose the focus when you are going into the same job every day, the same building, same car or traffic or whatever. You are losing the focus because naturally how it works is you feel, you know your surroundings already, so you are allowing yourself to zone out into, let's say, your day-to-day dramas in your mind. So you are not focusing on what is actually happening around you. Do you understand?
Okay, I do.
Is there anything else we can discuss with you within the topic of what we were talking with you last time, of the recognizing of two beliefs being in a confliction with each other?
No, right now, with what you just said, I think I got this in a very big way, and I think the spiritual, that belief that we need to be more spiritual, as you said, is like it's probably the downsides sometimes of of spirituality is we sometimes, or myself sometimes, make myself wrong, which when there's nothing wrong, everything is as supposed to be, and it feels right. It's just a matter of when it's right to pay more attention to it and acknowledge and be grateful for it.
We do agree with you, but we will lift our fingers or Vierka's fingers here, because the statements what you are saying right now is true for you and resonates with you only when you are in such a vibration as now. Then, and it's a case of many people as well, you tend to drop into your day-to-day lives, and then you were saying, what was I saying about the statement that everything is right and everything is okay? No, I don't believe it right now. you see, this is how reality is being bent, and this is why we say that the true is not the one true, but you create your true. Right now, because you are in such a vibrations, you are able to see and for yourself to feel the truthfulness of the statement. But once you get, let's say, a little bit down with your emotions, you will not feel the same way.
Absolutely.
Do you understand?
Yes.
That's why you would be very careful, because of this. Oh, we'll go from the other side. Because of the statement which you said is not fully connected, and it is not your belief yet. It has the potentiality to be turned into a statement which is truth in one moment and not truth on the other one.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you would be very careful to use this statement.
Okay.
For you, it can be double-edged sword.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
We would say, generally speaking, go with your emotions. Find yourself where you are. If you find yourself being in a vibration, but these statements and other ones as well do not feel to be really true, and the statement that you are doing, let's say, great, and you are having the spiritual life doesn't really feel to be right at the moment, find a little path with a few steps how to get a little bit up on the emotional scale.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, it's not, I don't really maybe perhaps feel that this statement is true for me right now, but I do remember that I was feeling how it felt right to me the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe now I feel this way, but some other days I feel better than others.
And there's nothing wrong with also feeling bad, right?
If it works for you, very well. We won't go into this for now because it would bring us into a sidetrack.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what you are saying?
I understand. I totally understand.
Don't be so rigid with the statements, because you know them from books and, let's say, other spiritual teachers. Now we are using your terms, but they don't always work. It always depends where you are with your emotionality. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yes.
And when you find yourself being somewhere else, don't force it on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we would now ask you to pick, let's say, 4, 5 values from the back you call a spiritual life. 5 values which seem to be friendly to you. What we mean is, let's say if you see a person experiencing spiritual life, and if within this topic you would see the person to be perhaps smiling often, perhaps helping others more often. Do you get the point?
Mm-hmm.
And we would ask you if you wish to pick right now 4 or 5 values from the topic what you call spiritual life.
Okay. Okay. Well, I would start maybe feel, and this is a bit generic, but joy.
Feeling joy. All right. Yeah. Do you want to write it down for yourself? We'll tell you a little overview of what we are doing right now.
Yeah.
We want you to pick 5 values which you have the connection within the term of having a spiritual life.
Mm-hmm.
5 values which you feel you can be doing during your day.
Okay.
Anywhere where you are, whatever you do.
Mm-hmm. Things to flow easily. So.
Oh, you don't control this. That's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
How would you create such a situation?
Okay.
You can't control these things. You can if we would say that you are together with your higher self, because the flow is coming from the outside as well. We would not let you to pass this on.
Feeling energized.
Feeling energized, all right. And something sharing, all right.
Sharing meaningful connections.
Sharing meaningful connections, yeah, and something what comes deep from your personal assets, your, let's say, part of your blueprint. What really, how you see yourself to be defined.
I think light up where I am or the people around me.
Very good. That's 4 or 5, is it?
And 5, just laugh and have a good humor throughout the day.
Very good. So let's say now you have 5 values. Well, we will just now call them values for the sake of the conversation. Is there anything else, anything, let's say, bigger what you would consider a spiritual person to be doing? And of course there is.
I'm not sure if this is a escapism, so stop me if you think it is.
Go on.
But, I would love to have like again a connection with a star seed or something that I could reach out and to have feel the bigger picture. But I don't know if this is like a coping mechanism. Or
So let us ask
genuine.
you the question. If you see a spiritual person or person who you see as a spiritual being, do you assume that he or she has such a connection you are talking about?
Not necessarily.
Alright, so why is it there?
It's a plus. Will be something nice to have.
We will cover this topic in a moment, but right now we would say it would be very hard to achieve for this purpose of the exercise we are giving to you.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Sure.
So if you can read us those 5 values you wrote down.
Mm-hmm. You wanted me to go through them again. So, feeling joy, feeling energized, sharing meaningful connections with others, light up the space where I am,
Yes.
and love.
Very good. And are those things you can do on your day-to-day life?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you get where we are going with you?
Yes.
Later on we will tell you you can always change these. You can always, and you might be able to find some more suitable which do go more deeper with your alignment as a person, as you know yourself to be.
Okay. Yeah.
You can change them. We will tell you of this. Use those. You do have the full control over.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Don't go with something what you can't really control. And then, of course, as you are assuming right now, do these when you feel you are having the most mundane moments of your life, probably at your work or in some of those situations where you feel you are lacking the spiritual life.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, we are playing with you, but we do, through this exercise, want you to realize, and not only on a logical level, but also on the emotional, that you are bringing, as we said, your spiritual life wherever you go. As your higher self, and you know these things, as your higher self doesn't leave you where you go to the office.
Of course.
Your spiritual life doesn't leave you either. You understand?
Yes.
Very well, we feel we have covered the topic of what we started last time with you.
And this is really helpful.
Very good.
This is a very a practical tool. So thanks for that.
And let us, for once again, jump in before you ask us your question, and to a little bit probe into the subject you brought up, the connection with your higher self, perhaps the star seed connection, and so on. Why do we feel the hidden resistance towards these subjects within you?
I believe there's a core belief within me that only these things happen to others, and I have this. But this is what I feel. Maybe I'm not good enough for these things to happen to myself.
And what about if you are good enough for these things not to happen?
That's a possibility as well. Yes.
Do you understand?
I understand.
We want you to get the point fully. Yes, well, of course, one can see a person having, let's say, we will use this very gently, stronger connection to his or her higher self or spirit guides or gods and stars. One can perceive such a person with such a connection to have a more spiritual life. But you have to realize these things bring way more, we will say this one, way more responsibility to carry around. It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And if you are talking with us about carelessness, nice carelessness and easy flow and joyful life, we wouldn't really connect these two together. It doesn't directly goes against each other, but it brings stuff up which has to be dealt with.
Okay.
Not everybody is up for that. That's why, guess what? It doesn't happen to everybody. Do you understand?
I understand.
We will say to you and to others who are listening to us from the recording, we know it is nice to wish for such a abilities, you would say abilities,
yeah.
Because it is nice to, let's say, put it on your internal resume. Your ego kind of wants to be, I'm the one here, look at me. But we will say, you could be a firefighter and have all these nice photos in the newspapers as you are saving puppies and babies, but not many of you are actually having the dream of being such a hero. But you are having dreams of being fully recognized into the spiritual community. Do you understand?
Yes.
You understand why you are many like you are wishing for these, but
yeah,
it is, as we said many times, it is not for everyone. And it's not something what you are, let's say, blocking or you are stopping within your evolutionary path, but it is very often what, simply as it is, your soul, or we will say your higher self, doesn't choose for the lifetime.
Okay.
Yeah, what's the question?
There's just one thing that you said that it totally didn't resonate. You said that, when someone has this channel capabilities, it brings stuff up that you need to deal with.
Yes.
And what I assume is that probably right now I shouldn't be, bringing stuff up and deal with in my life. It sounded like maybe a bit of, not looking over my problems and facing them, my internal issues and trying to work them. That didn't resonate much. It seems like, okay, you can focus on positivity and focus on these great, five things, joy and energize and all that stuff. But if some negative emotion comes through you, probably it's not a good thing to deal up with this drum or negative emotion. Might be better than to focus on these good things. I don't know if that totally resonates, but that's what you're trying to say. It's not right now, not my job, or probably not a good thing for me to deal with those negative emotions and instead focus on the positivity.
We would not say this. We wouldn't say that it is not wise to be, as you say, overlooking what is coming up on the surface. it is sometimes, we'll cover this part first, it is sometimes beneficial to get into the emotion of ease and then to be handling what you are realizing that is what came up. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Sooner, if something is coming up, sooner or later, you will have to go through it and to handle it to somehow. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
If there is an issue which you are realizing and which is coming up to affect your life, whether it is just your thoughts or your external life, you will be going through the subject and figuring out what is going on, and you will be affected by the change you will create within it. Do you understand?
I understand.
The second part, what we said and what we meant is, once someone is, we will be very careful with the words here, but once someone is going into the experience of, let's say, strengthening the connection with the spirit guides in a form of more conscious communication or channeling, as you are talking about, it brings the emotions which are stored here are affecting the ego. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
And for the purpose of clearing the ego, for the easy communication, these things must be smoothed up.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
If you are, well, I'm not talking to you right now, but many of you others, if you are one of those who are always in the mind and, let's say, afraid to let go, let's say, afraid of surrender yourself to what is there, you will not create a space for other energies to, let's say, come through and speak through you, as is happening often in the case of channeling. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So, in the scenario where the soul, or the higher self, chooses to experience this through one's physical life and find itself to be conflicted within certain beliefs which do not go together for the task of channeling or the experience, whatever you want to call it, one must clear it up. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Did we clear this up to?
Say it again?
Did we clear it up to you?
Yes.
Is it
No, yes. Yeah, I kind of already knew internally or in my mind, but now I got a little bit of validation.
What we do again, and this is a wonderful example you are bringing this up, is again the conflict between you desiring the careless life and then having the another belief of I have to work things through within me. I have to work hard, and okay, if something comes up, I should be dealing with it, right? Or should I just go into the positivity and deal with that maybe later? Again, conflicting beliefs, very similar to those we were talking about last time. As we said, we'll just do a little recap. Yes, if you do find yourself when something is coming up, something greater than what you are finding within your experience, because what we see is you are nitpicking on yourself, too hard on yourself, you are making small things to be a bigger things, which then you want to give the focus and go through and sort it, but it doesn't really affect you in a large way. You are finding faults where there are none. Do you understand?
Okay, yeah.
Which is again connected to the topic of laziness. Am I too lazy, or should I be doing more? Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So generally we would say go into the positive state where you are able to see, let's say, a bigger picture, and then through, let's say, from 2 to 6 weeks, of course always give it some time, try to figure the thing out. Don't try to always find the solution at the very moment.
Okay.
You see, it is like the, what is it? The football ball. Sometimes it has a different colors on the other side. So you have to let it come through several times to actually see what it is. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes.
If it looks like a white ball from the other side, it could be something else. Does make sense?
Makes sense.
More you recognize from the emotional higher state, let's say, more you recognize what you are actually dealing with, more easy it becomes for you to overcome it. Not to get rid of it, but overcome it.
Yeah.
We will always say, this is the path of your internal evolution. Alright? It's not that everybody should be looking for what is in disbalance within them. If something is, let it come to you, to your mind, to your eye. Be aware what is happening within you and around you. You don't really need to go and to be going through your past and looking at all the events, what happened to you. Is this affecting me? Is this doing me some harm 10 years after that? Do you understand?
Yes.
Live your life. Have fun. That's why you are here.
Yeah.
If make the intention for yourself. If something is there for me, what is perhaps little bit slowing me down, I want it to be obvious to me in a nice and gentle way. And I will observe it from the emotional higher state. And I will realize, I will feel the guidance to work with this.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
And you have to know, you are never alone for these things. We are not talking about your smart friends. We are talking about your spirit guides, your higher self, friends overlooking you from other dimensions. Just open yourself up, and we feel you are very receptive to these wavelengths, let's say.
Okay. Is it necessarily a good thing, the influences from spirits? Because some of these spirits, and I don't have experience. This is already coming from some teachings that say some spirits overcloak to our bodies and have influences on us, and they don't know exactly what they are doing. So it's sometimes a good thing to allow myself to be open for the spirits to influence.
It is a very good question, and I will say this. Within these talks, within setting these intentions, let's say, always go for your higher self. Your higher self knows what is very best for you. Let the higher self know, alright, if there is something for me, if there is somebody else, something else, what is here for me, to assist me, to help me, let it through. But you be on guard from the other ones. You don't have the mental capacity to be battling all these.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But you do need to firmly know that you are safe and you are looked after.
Yeah.
Perhaps by your higher self and so on such as.
And is there a way to discern that if I have some addiction, it's coming from, my personality or from
addictions and the topics you are bringing in are for larger conversation. It is possible in certain cases to experience addiction within the connection of some other spirit being in touch with you. This is what we would say, but we don't want to go into this topic right now because you would be covering quite a large.
Okay. So maybe on another note.
Very well.
I just been with Pav for these couple of days. Actually, believe it or not, in this lifetime, in this physical experience,
Yes.
we just met each other, and
Yes.
it feels like, you know, I feel like a level of comfort with him, and like
Yes.
I know him for a very, very long time. And I'm curious, just, you know, besides having fun with him, is there like any reason why our paths crossed right now?
There are always reasons. There are always reasons. But those reasons are there to create something, not to be told, not to be verbalized.
Okay.
If you, let's say, would know the reason, would you be looking for the moment in the closer for the future? Would you be on focus or on guard within what the reason carries?
I see.
Do you understand?
I understand.
And as we were talking last night with you about our life purpose purposes are changing within the one's life experience, and also reasons are changing. They are always you you will understand this. It's a mathematical step down. What's the word? First, most probable scenario, most we will take this gently, most best possible outcome. But if things change, and they do in your reality very often, was the second round, how we can use it, the soul, and we are always saying these together now. So in the higher self, always trying to find the easiest, the fastest, the smoothest way how to experience as much as possible within the blueprint which has been given. So if one thing doesn't work out because of, let's say, somebody else didn't come into the nation to be available for the meeting of more people, let's say, some other plan is on the table. Do you understand?
I understand. When you say to experience as much as possible
Within the blueprint.
within the blueprint, that contains contrast. You know, it's not necessarily only good things, but can be also.
We are not talking about good things. You are those who define these events to be good or bad.
Okay. But I guess good or bad things, which is just a concept, are associated with different types of emotions, and from emotional perspective, experience much. Does it mean having more emotions, or that this is a wrong statement?
Yes, emotions are in a base of your experience, because whatever you do, it doesn't really matter what you do, but what you experience of it. Do you understand? So if, let's say, if shopping wasn't so much fun and hustle, you would be having a free careless delivery into your house already. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's the experience what matters. But because of the way how your reality is structured within the time frame, it is sometimes very important to do the physical things as well.
Yeah.
To have a, let's say, what's the word? The full agreement of companies. So 2 years after that, they will decide to build a building which will house another people coming within, interacting together, which will create an idea later on to do something else. You see, this is why this dense reality is so much fun. And if you connect it within the time frame, you are evolving on both or more than that levels as well. There are some realities, or maybe you would say dimensions, which are only based on the emotionalities. But within you, there's quite large number of things going on together, which always do create the full picture, which always expands to be a bigger picture and bigger again.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I understand.
So sometimes there is a very, very strong need to have the physical aspect of the experience as well. Did you answer the question?
Yes.
Go on.
Now my brain is a bit with what you just said, and I think this is probably a human thing. We always think that's, oh, we need to experience much. Okay, so if we can experience, the more we can experience in this lifetime, the better we will be when we die. So now I have that idea, but sounds like a false statement. We don't necessarily should be worried about these things, right? We should just, live life, as enjoying as possible, and don't worry too much about, because these experience and they will inevitably happen, right?
We can't go with the inevitability. Because of the interchangeability of the game. They might happen by, if, let's say, the idea of upgrades will get into the level where this idea is no longer necessary. This will fall apart. Another one will come into the game on the more probable level. So not everything is set to happen. Alright.
May I give you an example?
Go on.
It might be very silly, very physical.
Go on.
So let's say Friday I leave work and I want to do something fun, and I have two options. I can go to a movie and I can enjoy, and I know I will enjoy the movie and the amusement of it and the experience, or I probably can also go having dinner with my friends, which probably it brings a level that I'm not totally comfortable, because I might have a little bit anxiety, but with that meeting with friends, maybe I will go through a much wider range of emotions. So I would probably gain more experience from that event, although would not feel as easy and as happy as the other one. Does it make sense, this analogy that I'm giving you? In one hand, I probably have something more ease. On the other, and I know it's joyful. In the other one, probably something that will, I will have to work out through my emotions a little bit more.
Are you again finding yourself to be within two conflicting beliefs? Does it sound?
It seems
familiar?
It seems a theme, right?
Well, before we go into your question, when one finds itself to be experiencing the emotion of, you call it anxiety, it very often happens that it is not caused only by one confliction of the core beliefs. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
We will say this gently, but many of you are getting used to these. Many of you are getting used to the emotions you do not want to have, and you are settling with them, and you are, for let's say a long time, not doing the recognition part and the part of reconnecting the beliefs within the structure of how you would like it to have. Then what sometimes happens to these people is that you will create, of course on an unconscious level, but you will create more the conflicts within yourself. Do you understand? Once you are immersed in the vibration of the emotion you are recognizing as anxiety, it is a little bit higher probability that you will create more contradictions within yourself.
Okay.
It is nothing which should bring any guilt there, but it is something what one might be aware of. Do you understand?
I believe that maybe not all the times, but a lot of times I am aware of the emotion, but maybe I'm not sitting with the emotion too much.
We'll ask you these questions before we cover the other one. Do you believe, or do you think that the emotion of anxiety is part of your core?
No. I don't think so,
No.
Not at all.
It appeared there, somehow it appeared there. It does not really matter how and who did it and why these circumstances happened. But it is not part of you. Thus, it means you, as you yourself do not need it. It is something, and what should be looked at as a temporary thing.
And I like to feel that since my teen years that I've been doing progress, and it's getting lesser than lesser. Not sure what was the trigger of these emotions, but I feel better and better, and I feel I'm doing progress, a little bit of progress with that. But I'm not sure if there's any specific thing that I should working on it, or I just
Suze it up. I feel I do have a anxiety, but I know it's not part of me. It is there now and isn't there now. Okay, I don't really have to push it away, but I will, little by little, time by time, find a way how to come to my true core self.
Beautiful.
And these will simply fall apart. We don't want you to have an even bigger resistance for having these experiences. Many times we will say, when people are giving themselves the permission to work through these emotional things, we will say generally, they will find themselves speeding up very fast because of the inner work they are doing, and they will find that it will bring them into places they would never expect to appear, in wonderful places, meeting wonderful people. That's when one decides to level up, let's say.
That feels good.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So don't push it. Don't push it. Just gently work with it. And allow yourself, and this is what we like about you, allow yourself to feel it and be it part of your experience, but knowing it's not part of your core self. Do you understand?
Beautiful. Yes. Well, that felt good.
Very well. So, to answer your question is, when one, or give us the question maybe again, so we'll grasp it for you.
In life, sometimes I face decisions. On one hand, I can go something that I know I'm comfortable with. I know it's easy. I know I will be happy doing it. It will bring amusement. It feels like flows naturally.
Yes,
and the second, I feel that I will probably gain more experience out of it. Might not be something that I will be totally comfortable to start with, but I feel, I will be working, with my issues, making maybe some connections, making.
We will say this. The first of all, we will say your very first part of the story was when it's Friday and you're deciding to have experience, and you are deciding between these two.
Yes.
It's already closing yourself.
Yeah.
When you have the simple intention of, I do want to have fun on Friday, let it be open, not to be limiting it to A or B.
Okay.
Then you are pushing yourself in between those two little door frames, not knowing what you actually want to do, and not allowing the space for the other circumstances to unravel.
Okay.
Yes, perhaps afterwards, when it's coming down to the time where you will meet either this or this person, or to have experience or the other person. When it comes down, yes, go with the easy flow. Don't go for things which you think will bring you the more stuff you can work with, more stuff you can work on.
Mm-hmm.
If there is something where you need to be working on, you will. So get out of the subject from your mind.
Okay.
It will appear.
So just in the same subject, I'm the kind of person that I actually, when I'm alone, watching, reading my books, doing my own things, it feels good. I'm like in a space of easiness.
Yes.
With others, sometimes I feel good. It depends on the energy of the person. Sometimes I don't. Is it like not gentle to, force? I don't like this word, but to put myself in a more, surrounded by people, so I can, start to break the bubble and not be maybe alone so much, such a big portion of the time, but there's nothing wrong with that.
We wouldn't approach this subject from this side. We would say, first of all, you have to realize when you are on your own, you control everything around your environment.
Yeah.
And you have the full, again, the control, how you feel, what you do. You don't feel pressured to respond to anything, anyone, within the frame of, let's say, what you call politeness or what must be considered friendship or something. You understand? It feels free on its own because it is. What we want to say as well is the subject you are talking about must include the subject of momentum. When you are finding yourself to be within one, as you call, bubble, the safe, nice bubble, let's say some would even call it the comfort zone, and then yet you do kind of desire the new friendships, new connections, but you're not really sure if it's going to be comfortable for you.
Yes, exactly.
You can, let's say we would say, you can set these things for yourself. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have my own space, which I control and I feel comfortable fully in. But I'll give myself the opportunity to experience something new on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
And we will start very gently. Especially, let's say, if it involves new people who you've never met, it can bring either of what you would perceive the good or bad emotions. But you always have to know you can handle it. You can handle it.
Yes.
There is nothing what you wouldn't be able to handle. You can always say, I'm going home. You can always say to use some excuse or something. This is more connected to the, as you were so kindly to give us the information of recognizing yourself as to be a people pleaser.
Yes.
This is very much connected to the subject of kind of feeling I should behave one way, but perhaps I don't really want to behave that way. It is about finding your inner strength to say what you want to say and do what you want to do, regardless of what they will be thinking about you. Let's say if you would be following our examples, you can even set Tuesdays for yourself to be a day where you are completely free. And then you can please people for the rest of the week. But Tuesday, be the crazy one, be the wild one. Because you can.
It feels good. It felt really good. Yeah.
And especially when you are doing it, you are starting doing it in an environment which doesn't affect, let's say, your status, your job, or your stronger friendship, what you already have. You can allow yourself to see and experience on yourself how it feels to be wild me, to open up. You understand?
I understand.
Somehow what we are saying is, somehow you have to, you don't have to, but you, I'll say this as we want you to say, somehow you do have to put yourself in a gentle environment where you will experience the power what you have. Do you understand?
Yes.
Power to say what you think and feel, what you want to say. It is a subject for another conversation, but we won't go fully into it. We believe you understand our point right now.
Yeah. Great. I needed that. So thank you.
What's the next question?
Okay. Just out of curiosity, actually, I'm not sure how aware are you about, my life here on Earth. I don't know if your point of perception is only past.
No, we have other points of perception, but it is again a question of relevance and allowance. What is relevant for us to know and what we are allowed by others to know. And what comes through is small part of what is up there.
Oh, that's nice to know. So I came forth to this physical reality with a twin brother.
Very good.
Which I really like. And sometimes we also argue and we have our discussions, but I really love him. I'm just out of curiosity. Is there like, as we said, there's always a reason, and now I'm feeling like I'm doing the same question again. But the fact that I came forth with a twin, what's the reason behind? I know it's a little bit like a tough question.
It's a little bit like the previous one, so we won't give you the full story because it includes the, let's say, the storyline of many things, what has become and what will become in the future. One thing is, you don't need to be conscious about everything. You don't need to be conscious about why is this happening, why such and such as are appearing. You are those, you are here to experience things, as we said, not to be consciously realizing everything. But what we will say to you, and it's nice that you are having these questions lined up in such a way, is do you feel you are fully yourself? And we will say this, fully your wild self when interacting with your brother.
Right now, probably not.
Why not?
There's always a connection there, but right now, in terms of physical life, with the physical distance, we are a little bit apart. So
well, it's not what we're talking about.
No,
we are talking about, we are referring to your previous questions when you felt the anxiety of meeting other people and being in interaction with them.
Yeah.
Of being perhaps on guard to what you're going to say and pleasing them.
Yeah.
Would it be the same story with your brother?
Oh no, not at all.
No. So would you say you are fully yourself in front of your brother?
Yeah. Yes. Maybe not fully, but almost yes.
Two things he would tell you: be fully yourself in front of your brother as you recognize him to be the second part of you.
Yeah.
And the second thing we would say, once you do it, because it will be very easy to do it with him, once you do it, feel how it feels when you do it. Feel how it is when you are expressing your true self when interacting with him.
Yeah.
And know that such a feeling can be there no matter who you're talking to.
Okay.
Because a part of the physical appearance, you do not know that the other ones perhaps might be in a very close distance as your brother is to you.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we will say this. When the situation of identical twins happen, it is always for a reason, even if they are not identical, it is always for a reason why two people are deciding to be born at the one womb at the same time. But we want you to say, we want you to understand that people who are twins have tend to have stronger psychic connection together, which brings you into the fields where you are more receptive to everything what is around, not only to him. What we are saying is twins are very often more open psychics than the other ones, let's say.
I totally can feel that and resonate that in my childhood with my brother. And
so would you be able to see the little part of the purpose, let's say?
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of things that I see, growing up as a twins. Not only about, finding your identity when you have someone, very similar to you on your side every time. But yes, also someone that sees you for who you are and you can have the support. And in terms of the psychic, that was really helpful because, growing up in a reality, I don't know which terms to use, but we always, were fascinated about, stars and astrology and all these things and psychic themes and things like that. And, it was also always nice to have someone to reach out and to see, I was not alone and I was not totally crazy when it comes to this, like, intuitive awareness.
Yes.
So, yeah.
We are not saying anything more about that.
Okay.
It is not, you have to understand, it is not beneficial to, because the information you are receive, most of the information you are receive are only on the logical level, on the mind level. But there is so much more for what you do not need the information, and what could actually cause interference within the experiences. If there was some huge purpose which you should be aware, it would be probably written on his forehead. Do you understand?
I totally understand. And the funny thing is, when we spoke yesterday, and he said, we probably will visit you before you leave Dublin. And I was trying to prepare my questions, and while I was looking to the questions, I was saying to myself, there's no information here to be given that I don't already know, or it's relevant. It's what's relevant right now is maybe to be totally in tune with my emotion self.
We will tell you this. We are agreeing with the statement you just made, yet we'll add another one. There is, especially now within you and us, there is not really anything on the logical level, any information we can give you what you wouldn't know. But there are things what we are creating together on the emotional levels. Mm-hmm. And that's what matters to us and to you as well. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's why we are so much about the emotions. Mm-hmm. That's why the flow for you is important, because the flow is how you feel the emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? The emotional movement, what is happening within one when one does the emotional work, that's what matters. Mm-hmm. Not what we are telling you, the ABC.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have another question for us? Or did we answer the first one?
I think, the last question was the twins one. And now, because the questions that I have here are not necessarily related with the emotional self, so I don't think they are really relevant for this discussion. Maybe just out of curiosity, I'm just gonna ask this one. What do you think is the biggest asset of mankind from your perspective?
Oh, we will give you the very same answer of vehicle God.
Say it again?
We will give you the very same answer. Our vehicle is God some time ago. Unpredictability.
Okay.
It is, and it will stay for some time. Because of the way how you tend to be receptive to all those outwards inputs, how you are allowing yourself to be programmed, and we don't want to be negative here, but in a large way you are closing yourself down, because most of the outside world wants you to feel that you are not powerful, that you are not important, that you do not have the power to create. Alright? Mm-hmm. So within those, because this is such a huge push on you for last several thousand years, we will say. That's why this little card called unpredictability is the strongest one right now you can have in your hands, and you do. Do you understand? Because you can, with the single card, break down huge barriers around you which unlock what you have stored out there. If the environment was different, who would care about unpredictability, right? But because of the environment, they set it this way. This is the biggest asset what you have right now.
Interesting. Are you experience the collective that I'm speaking to? Are you experience life on Earth as a parallel lifetime, or have you been here? I'm just curious to see your point of perspective. If you ever had like a point of perspective as ourselves are having right now.
Your higher selves are not having the experience what you're having.
Okay.
This is just a way to clear it up. They are not those who are walking on the earth, learning how to drive a car. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's you, not them. That's one thing. Second, to fully answer your question, within our genetic makeup, we would say, we are able to reach into the memories of those ancestors long time ago who did walk your earth. But we as who we know ourselves to be as a collective, we haven't lived on earth. There is no reason for us to be within the architecture of incarnation.
Okay.
On the earth. We have our own business. Do you understand? It can be hard to comprehend, but one of those reasons we are so appreciative of such interactions we are having through one's bodies, let's say, is to feel how it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
But we are not going for these experiences on our behalf. Yeah, this would contain to explain many mechanics of how we function and what our purpose and, we'll say it for those who are listening, agenda is. But we are also not going into these right now.
Okay. Stop me if this is not relevant. Actually, no. I'm just curious to see if like is the higher self communicating with me, or is like you are Pleiadians is like also a collective personality with a high. Maybe this is not relevant. Maybe
we do feel the relevance,
okay.
And it is not perhaps obvious to you, but it will be obvious later on to the others. Ask us that what do you actually want to know?
I'm curious to see as myself, Miguel, this personality on the physical reality, and connecting to my higher self. Am I speaking also to Pleiadians, the personality, and having an higher self, and my higher self could communicate with your higher self?
Yes. This is how it happens. Your higher self is open to us, and we are open to it.
Okay.
The communication has been established for some time.
So
it is always those who are brave enough to sit in front of such experience. It's absolutely always it happens that the higher self has the means and tools to connect with us and be open for us to connect to it. All right. Is it what you are asking about?
Yes.
What's the question you actually want to ask?
No, I was just curious to see it from my higher perspective. If everything is connected at the higher self perspective, which is connected to all the areas, so I was just in my mind trying, it's my physical brain, so I'll probably cannot grasp a lot of things, but I was just curious to see how all that is connected to the higher selves, and then to the higher selves to the personality. So I was just trying to somehow grasp a little bit of this picture.
We'll tell you this. First of all, you have to understand you are always connected to your higher self. This is how it always works within your human life, and you don't have to be worried about your connection to higher self. Am I now connecting to my higher self? Is it there? Is it up there? And did it go somewhere else? This is automatic on your side. Yes, you are not your higher self. You are the, as we say, the mask put on the personality of the higher self, if you wish. You understand? So you're not fully yourself. The personality has always been attached to the higher self, which creates the bigger package, let's say. And the better it feels, the more aligned these energies are. If you feel not so good, let's say, it feels like you are trying to tear the mask off your face, of the face of the higher self. Alright? So even if you don't feel like any emotion, you are in the state 0 or whatever you call it, you are aligned. And when you are cheerful, when you feel the energy rising through you and from you, you are spinning, dancing together on the face of your higher self, but you are the one having the experience. Do you understand?
Yes.
We are not always connected to your higher self or the higher selves of others. We do, however, have tools, let's say. We have ways how to ring the doorbells, let's say, to knock on the door of a certain person's higher self and say, do you want to chat? Do you hang out? Sometimes we do these things too, for the purpose of one another, to, let's say, establish a connection, or just to go for a chat to see if we can do something for her and she can do something for us. Alright? But we are not tending to have a everlasting connection with your higher self. Your higher self is very busy as well, so it doesn't always answer the phone call, do you understand?
Okay. Just like a fun thing, if we can play a game.
Go ahead.
If you would project yourself, your collective, into this physical reality, is there like anything in specific that you would like to experience here? Anything like fun you would like to do in physical terms?
Well, gently change the statement. As a collective, we wouldn't possibly be able to project ourselves. It's just a very small portion of what is coming for this. You understand that? But let's say some of our members would have a specific idea of names of certain animals because of the way how they are experiencing their life within the environment, let's say. But generally we'll say this, it might sound a little bit strange within the conversation, but we like to be connected to the experience of one's life. Sometimes when we do have the permission from the higher self and from the soul itself within the purpose, let's say, we do tend to hang out a little bit, stay a little bit longer, and to really get the feeling how one within this reality, which means any of you, are experiencing the world. This is what matters to us.
Okay.
You know, incarnation on its own within your world is not that appealing as having the opportunity to feel what you experience and what you and perhaps other beings as well experience within the reality. Because you are those who have full set. You are designed, you are masterfully designed to live in this reality. Do you understand? We are designed in a very, very different way. That's why, let's say, we would have to give up some of our parts to be even able to experience it on our own.
But you have a unique perspective. Each
perspective, not experience.
Okay.
Perspective is.
I see.
Do you understand? Well, we'll tell you a story here. As we are building and still strengthening the connection within our vehicle, we have evolved into what we call the stage 2 of the path of this journey with no vehicle, let's say. And not so long time ago, he's been walking in the park, in one of these local parks, and as we tend to be polite, as for some reason you care to about these things, we just knock on the door and we say if we can join him on his walk in the park. And it was of course more on the higher self level, but because of his receptivity he was also able to have something to say about it, and just we joined him, and he has never seen the park like this before because of us being there with him, and that's what we are enjoying the most. Him feeling the wind and looking at the leaves, and so many leaves, and they're everywhere, and they have the different colors, and now the sun is shining through the leaves, and we were able to experience what he was experiencing, which also created a very new experience for himself. To understand, this is what we value. This is what is very precious to us.
Okay.
Because of the way how we are structured, we are not really seeing your reality in the dense way as you do.
Yeah.
But when we are having such a nice connection, we are really appreciating how everything is masterfully planned and built within our realities. Did you answer your question?
Yes, and now I have another one.
Very good.
So, within this physical architecture, I understand that from your perspective, what it matters is the unique experiences that are added to the expansion. But within this physical architecture, there's also evolution, right?
Evolution is your name, how you call 2 or 3 different things. Evolution is what you gave name to the process when you stepped out of the oceans as a fish some billions of years ago, and then the fish decided to be able to breathe the air and grew the legs and arms and whatever. It's one of those things you call evolution.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, if we think about physical reality as a school of experience, somehow we will graduate, we will have a lot of experience, and probably this physical architecture served as the purpose for our higher self, and we probably would like to graduate or to have, and graduate, I don't mean to better or worse,
we get
but
a point, yeah.
And to live, not having more maybe physical experiences here. And my question being, first, is this a true statement? And second, would it be like a dangerous thought saying that we would like to accelerate this evolution process?
Again, we'll answer the second one first. It seems easier and faster. What you want is one thing. What has been said from the soul perspective is second thing, and you can be controlling all the aspects of your life. What is happening is way more than you are able to perceive.
Yeah.
So you can say for yourself that you have enough and you are moving somewhere else. Of course, you are moving somewhere else, and now, if you want, we will say the term evolution of your experience here is going somewhere else. Yes. But the first question is, do you mean what will happen when you will be done with your purpose here?
Yeah, not necessarily one lifetime, can be, many and many.
Well, we'll say don't be selfish. It's not all about you, about humans.
Yeah.
There are way more things being played out here. Not even the human experiences program.
Okay.
There are larger things going on. And you are a very important place, and it could not be played out this way without you. But there are way more things happening around.
There's some teachings here on Earth that say, you can go about your everyday life with your experience all well, but if you try to connect directly with divine love through prayer in meditation, try to connect to all that is to God directly, by trying to,
So what?
Your, I guess, the acceleration, might be fast, might be better for you. I'm not sure because
Judgment.
Okay. I don't know what's the end game because I don't have the full picture, but somehow,
and you're not meant
if the
to have the
teaching
full picture.
If the teaching exists, is this like a good thing? Maybe, I don't know.
If it, we'll say this, it's a game of statements and judgment again. If it serves to somebody, if somebody is recognizing himself or herself within the joy of following the teachings, it's all well and good. But if it's really true, if it's really describing what is going on, that's a very different story. Do you understand? You're not here to have everything done and to say that the humanity project was complete and finished.
I understand that, but it also sounds nice to somehow work on through or prayer or meditation with trying to have a connection with the Creator or something like that.
And you can have these and they are valid and they are okay. But not with the intention of finishing your tasks, finishing your purpose and speeding up something which you don't even understand.
Okay, yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes. Yeah.
If it works for you in a way, if you find yourself loving it and doing it and having the full joy while connecting to your higher self, God, or whoever you call it, go ahead. But not if you put there the intention, I'll just cheat a little bit and I'll speed up and it will be done in like 3 hours instead of 5 days.
I kind of like this game, this physical reality to some certain extent. But, if that will bring, a more joyful easiness.
To whom?
Release resistance to my perspective, my experience.
Yeah, then do it for yourself. Then do it for yourself, but don't do it for the humanity to be faster.
Yeah, but when you're talking about humanity, we are talking only about my personality, not my higher self.
No, when you are talking about the humanity, you are talking about the big package, including several billions of people on your planet. Mm-hmm. Alright?
But not the higher self.
What about it?
The higher self can be projecting into this
the higher self
or
is
into
doing
other realities as well.
The higher self is doing what it's meant to do. Mm-hmm. The higher self is, it's a wonderful thing, and we are bringing that. Higher self cannot be influenced by those outside forces which are coming to you, which are, let's say, creating your beliefs. Mm-hmm. That's what's affecting your mind, not your higher self. Mm-hmm. Higher self knows what it's doing, what its job is. And it didn't come here. None of the higher self came here to accelerate and have it sooner than later. Okay. You are here to have the experience, and if many of the times, if you have the chance of, let's say, going again and trying this time, another way, you are going for that. We are talking about your higher self. Mm-hmm. Do you understand?
I understand.
Do what you love, do what you feel like, what is nice for yourself, not for the purpose of saving other people. And of course, if you do have the pure, genuine intention and compassion to do such a thing, go ahead.
Yeah.
But we see it so many times. Somebody is just, we'll say it very, very honestly now, from our point of view, somebody's wasting their energy on others just to be seen as the hero, as the savior, just to be recognized, just to be appreciated by others because the person doesn't have the full appreciation for himself or herself.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? Did we answer your question?
Yes.
All right.
So, what is your main intention to do these channelings? Because we're gonna experience either you're here, either you come, or either you do not come. So it's to make it easy or more joyful, this experience. What's your intention for bringing these wonderful teachings here?
Well, our intentions within the communication, what you are experiencing, is to provide guidance and teachings from our point of view. It must be there. It is not what is right. We are not saying that we have the key for your happiness or to get whatever you want. We have our perception, we have our glasses on. We have to say it. And if you do find yourself to be aligned with what we are teaching and advising, then it's all good and well if it serves you. But we are saying we're not the only source of information you should be listening.
But
All right, you know, we are just avoiding the full answer, as it is one of our intentions not to so far give out our agenda. You see that the story goes like this. One of the assets, one of the parts of our intentions as a collective is to help and study other forms of life on the evolutionary path, because this is how we expand, this is how we learn, this is how we expand, this is how we are becoming more of who we are. It is somehow, some would say it is coded in our energetic genes to be guides, to be, we'll say now, teachers in a bit. We within the humanity, within your world, we have a very strong genetic connections as well, because when your genes were, some would say given, some would say taken, to create what you are now, they contained a huge part of our physical genes as well. So you are, in a sense, our family, which we do feel strongly that we want to look after you. There are great times where there is a many confusion around, and when it comes to the time of the transformation which you are in, way a deep way, it is sometimes very handy to have some of those who are not within the game and are able to see it from outside. But we are always saying we are not carrying the only answer for you.
Okay.
Did we answer the question?
Yeah, thanks a lot. What I'm thinking right now is all it is, and everything will also benefit from our pain and our negative experience here on Earth. They are valid experiences as anything else, whatever the words that I choose to label.
Yes, but to be...
Why?
Go ahead.
I'm just trying to understand if another beings or your collective are somehow trying to, I know you didn't give maybe the full picture, but trying to provide us some tools for us to feel better, would not that change the course of things on Earth, and maybe
yes,
reduce the negative emotions, and maybe because of that the experience will be not as big?
changing the course is the main thing what people are having on the mind when it comes to the idea of channeling, of some outsider poking in another world. Well, we would say this: we were allowed to create such connections by the what you would say, the collective consciousness of your world. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to, and your, let's say, your higher self would automatically be shut to our energies. But because of the genetic similarities and the connections on a way grander levels, we were allowed to create such connections, and it goes back to the past. It doesn't start with us connecting to a person and channeling. It goes back to a past, what has happened within the cosmos, from the earth and the point of view of the as Pleiadians, as different, let's say, families, different worlds, still under the umbrella of Pleiadians. It is not us doing the job. It's been what has been set up here for many years. Okay. We are just one part of the iceberg poking out of water, but there's been many things done on your planet and with your humanity consciousness eons ago.
Interesting.
This will make full sense once you will be given the origins of your kind.
But yesterday you told that with this new generation there's much a bigger mix.
Yes.
Does that mean that with these new generations there are new genes from other beings, and is that to enrich the experience?
It is to slightly, everything, if you can say it, everything is in the course of enriching this experience, yes, but we would say it is for the change which must come, for the change of implementing something what has been coming for quite time.
And
ask us directly the question.
Can we prepare ourselves for that change?
Why do you think you're not being prepared now?
I don't know.
Do you remember yesterday talking about the updates?
Yes. They are automatic, yeah. Yeah, and they're always happening.
Yeah.
So does that mean that I shouldn't be focused on preparing for something?
You don't even understand what you're talking about.
I don't. But
so why do you bother?
Okay.
Mind your own business.
Okay.
You have your own life. You have your own dreams and your wishes.
Okay.
And whatever they are if they are coming from your ego, from your true self, or from your blueprint, whatever, focus on these.
Okay.
Focus on how you can feel that you, in this body, in this lifetime, having the nice, maybe not the fullest, but nice experience with fun, loads of fun and excitement.
Okay.
Things are happening on a ground level every day within your reality. You're not able to perceive it, you're not able to comprehend these things. Why do you bother?
Yeah, but our physical brain, as humans, when we hear, like
yes,
a
you tend to
change
be
is coming,
curious. Yes.
or Earth is splitting, we don't want nothing bad to happen to us.
We will tell you this: you have to give up
Yeah.
the power to control everything, because you just can't.
Yeah.
And once you realize it, it will be way easier for you.
Okay, that's me.
To feel yourself in the flow. Do you remember we were talking about all the time about the flow?
Mm-hmm.
Where is the flow coming from? Are you creating the flow? No. from your point of view, it's a natural thing happening.
All the time.
Where is the water coming from at the beginning of the river? Pff, who cares?
Okay.
Who cares?
Okay.
Give yourself a break.
Okay.
Controlling everything. We do so much. We do want to appreciate your curiosity, which with the questions you were providing helps to you and to many as well. But right now we are hitting on the boundaries of what your yesterday conversation started about, those which we are not willing to discuss.
That's fine. We don't need to go there. And I think actually touching on this and giving the bigger message that, you know, we shouldn't be caring about this and not taking things so seriously and just light up. I think that's the best message that I could get right now. And I totally understand there are things that are not under our control. And
Most of them
most of them maybe are.
The weather?
Sorry?
The weather? Is the weather under your control? Is the economy under your control?
I think not. Might be the collective control. I don't know if the collective focus in a certain way we may change the weather or may not. I don't know. I don't know the boundaries between what's the collective desire versus what's actually physical law.
Again, the same subject. Don't worry about these things. We will tell you what you most have your control over, your power over, are your responses. How do you respond to certain events? Whether you manifest them on a conscious, unconscious level, most of the time on an unconscious level. Yeah, but then how you respond to it. If you are getting freaked out, if you are blaming yourself, if you are piling the weight on your shoulders, these are your responsibilities.
Okay.
And then once you recognize these being there, it is your responsibility to gently, in an easy way, shake it off.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes. So I believe we have been talking for quite a while.
Yes.
So maybe just to wrap it up, I'll maybe give you time if you want to bring something up or to sum up anything that you feel relevant right now.
We believe we have answered most of your questions. One thing what we do want to answer back is your question about the star seeds. Well, we keep getting the questions. What race am I? What do you feel in my vibration? Am I coming from here or from there? We will be almost repeating ourselves here right now about what we talked about a few minutes ago, but we will say right now, for people who are, who are under the age of, let's say, 20, you will find yourself, first of all, you will find yourself in a situation where it's much more easier to lose it, to lose the control which you think you have, to be more confused. And we are not encouraging in negativity here, but we are telling you, to those young ones, it can be very confusing for you because you are appearing in a system which has been set up for very different kind of people, we'll put it this way. So as much as you can, take things easier, and you will find yourself let's say fitting in, maybe a little bit harder than the other ones, but you are able to create around yourself the environment which will help you to build new creations, to little change the systems you are in, and to be settling into almost new energies and new systems. We will say it again. Those who are a bit older are on the verges of the transmission where they do remember themselves feeling almost okay before some years ago, but then now things are feeling bit weird, bit uncertain because of the acceleration you are going through. However, none of this is because of a mistake which has been made and you are from this star system and from that one and you have been placed here by accident. It doesn't really matter where your energetic genes, where you think they are coming from and what the name of the race you are assigning to yourself. Humanity, generally speaking, the humanity has been mixed so many times that in almost every being could be find the traces, not within your technology now, but on a more energetic level, the traces of, let's say, 5 to 6 races, what you call races right now. But we will again say it doesn't matter on what race is, let's say, has the bigger percentage, because you came here into these physical bodies to have the experience on Earth, and because of, and this is the most important thing we want you to say, you don't have the information to be selecting or to be recognizing those races you are sometimes talking about. And without the connection, without the understanding of the differences of these races, you're not able to work with these informations. Later on, you will be, it looks like you will be given the full story of the creation of humankind and the role with the planet Earth as well. And then on this event, it's very probable that you will be also introduced to some of those races, and then perhaps you will be able to work and to consciously be able to recognize your connections within those for the positive purpose. If you are trying to figure out your so-called starseed origin before that, you are wasting your time, because you don't have the information, you don't have the association with each of them. We could say we are from the Andromeda system. What would it change? Nothing. It would be just very hard to pronounce for this vehicle. Do you understand? Don't worry about what your star seed origin is. Yes, there are some mixes in your genes, and they do have a purpose, but again, there's no reason to be consciously aware. Unless it appears on your birth certificate, you don't have to worry about these things. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, within this being done, we do feel we have answered your questions, and we will thank you for the interactions you are providing to us to create, because within this part it wouldn't be said all as it was.
And I thank you so much for the information that you share.
Very good, and we'll bid you to have a very good afternoon, and just give us a few minutes to disconnect.